What is up, my viewers? Time for a World of Tanks 9.5 gameplay commentary. This is a submission from Never Aim, a longtime viewer, a longtime submitter, and he is driving his 50B, the Tier 10 French autoloader. And I have to say, it's quite a remarkable vehicle. Some say even better than the T57 Heavy, but it's debatable. The T57 Heavy used to be unquestionably better, but now the 50B is on par, if not slightly better. So that's just the way the game works. Sometimes little patches come out and they readjust how everything works, and it kind of shifts the balance of the game a bit, as was the case in the 183 when that got nerfed and Heshit kind of became less effective, so on and so forth. But enough about that. If we look at the teams here, you will notice that the Tier 10 advantage definitely goes to Never Aim's team. At least I believe it does. No, actually, I take it back. Tier 10s are completely even. Tier 9 advantage, however, does go to the enemy team. Tier 8 advantage, well, there's really no advantage to Tier 8 and Tier 10, is there? Though I do have to rebuke that a little bit, come back on what I just said, due to the fact that there is an ISU 152 Never Aim only getting shot on the tracks here by this LTTB, this cheeky little Tier 8 light tank, or no, LTTB is Tier 7, I'm sorry. Wow, I never really paid attention to the tiers of the scout tanks, well, at least the Russian ones. What is the, do the Russians have a Tier 8? I don't usually, oh yeah, the T54 lightweight, I just don't see them that often. I more commonly see the RU-251 and the T49. But enough about that. Enemy T57 Heavy spotted way across the map there. Let's just make the mini-map a little bit bigger for my own comfort. And kind of typical of what you see here. You see all the heavies kind of camping the Delta 2 line, the LTTB kind of just scouting, and right here you see Never Aim making great use of his vehicle's mobility, saying, well, you know what, the enemy team really doesn't have much over here. He's quickly thinking about possibly going back to intercept that FP4202, but at the same time, he did tell his 215 Bravo to fall back via the in-game commands, and he even typed it in the chat, FBB, fall back. So it looks like the 215 Bravo not exactly listening, but if everyone else is going to be an idiot, you might as well join him. And sadly enough, that is the case here. Everyone went to one side. He did not want to stick around and die trying to hold a flank virtually by himself. Sure, he was going to have a little bit of support there, but at the same time, his artillery also taking notice and falling back. That's what you should definitely do. If you are kind of alone, you probably should regroup with the rest of your team, so at least you can die together. But right here, this friendly ISU 152, which I was talking about earlier, definitely beneficial to be in a Tier 10 match if you're in that and you have the BL10. However, it looks like it has the 152mm grip. And right here, ooh, beautiful shot. RNG kind of favoring him a little bit. Beautiful dodge right there. Never Aim completely living up to his awesome stats at the moment. And he kills that 215 Bravo. Very well played, sir. And he is on the reload. 28 seconds left. So as you can tell, the 50B definitely does not have that long of a reload, letting his team very well know that he is clipping at the moment. 20 seconds left on his last ping. He's probably going to ping it again, maybe at 10 seconds, maybe when he's loaded, just to let them know. But at the same time, it's about a 30-second reload, between 30 and 35 seconds. Depending on how well your crew is trained up, on what skills you got, and what equipment you have, it varies, of course, but only slightly longer of a reload than a 57 Heavy. Now that reload difference does make a difference if you are in a brawling situation, you both unload your clips into each other, and then you're both kind of staring at each other angrily while you're waiting for the new drum to get in your gun. But in this such of a case where you're both kind of falling back and hanging back, the enemy T57 Heavy is still alive, for the record. It doesn't make too much of a difference because chances are pretty good when you're both reloading and you both fall back to clip. Next time you engage, you're both going to be loaded anyway, so the reload difference, not really a factor. Waffenträger, Tier 9 on his right flank, he fully acknowledges that. And the enemy team, that IS-7 down in the ditch, but he is prioritizing that. Takes a shot because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but the IS-7 definitely is priority now. Aiming for the rear part. Not sure what's going on with that reload. We just had that happen in the previous one, did we not? With the 9.4 one I just did, the TOG 2, I believe it was. Yeah, I think that happened in that one. Anyway, just minor replay glitches. I've always had a bit of issues with them. But, you know, as long as it runs well enough, the enemy T57 coming up, Never Aim, again, falling back. This is how you exactly play autoloaders. You stay nowhere near the front lines when you're clipping, when you're waiting for that new drum to get in your magazine. or whatever you want to say. I'm pretty sure that was terrible terminology right there, but Waffenträger, definitely possible clipping range here. 2 shots, 800 hit points, possible, yes, and nope, he will not get the kill shot. His allies taking it from him, choosing not to reload, instead keeping that last shell and jump, and it looks like it will pay off. Will he get a high roll? No, he will not. So the enemy artillery staying alive for a little bit longer, thinking possibly Never Aim is not clipping. However, he is falling back just as much as he should. And the T-57 right here, this is what I'm talking about, but Never Aim knows he's going to be clipped for it. And the T-175 possibly going to die. He's going to try and take a shot for him. Will not get there in time, but at least he attempted to. And that's another key basic principle, is hit point sharing. If you got the hit points to spare and your ally is about to die, keeping them alive is almost essential. This enemy T-57 heavy just kind of doing a little dance, trying to be annoying, trying to bounce a shot hopefully, but he is not even getting the slightest bit of luck right there. Never Aim just saying, dance all you want, you little punk. You're not going to dance away from my shells. So, just, it was one of those situations. How skilled was that T-57 heavy? Well, decently enough. I don't have exact 1-8 numbers showing, but he's a 60, well, 59, so I can't recall exactly what that equates to, but under my color scheme, that might be light blue or dark green. So, if you want to go by the newer color scale, which is more accurate than my old one, but I'm just too lazy to update it. 704 did get a solid hit on Never Aim there. He's got 2 rounds left in the clip, which means he needs to get these 2 shots off and then pretty much just hide and hope his artillery saves him. Possibly about to fall back. Ooh, 704 getting a real low roll right there. 567. That's always tough to feel when you are one of those high damage TDs. And right now, the Waffenträger last spotted in the south. Never Aim knows the 704 is really the only thing up here besides the enemy arty, the other 2 vehicles spotted in the south. In fact, the Tiger II is brawling with the 215 Bravo right now. And it's really just down to Never Aim and the 704, 1v1, and both are capable of killing each other. The only difference is, well, the 704 can kill Never Aim in 1 shot, and Never Aim has to shoot him at least twice. So, unfavorable to say the least, but right now he is zoomed out. He's trying to see if anything is getting broken by the 704, taking a very risky poke out there. It could have been the death of him if the 704 was around that corridor, so not sure I necessarily agree with that. At the same time, he still has artillery, so it is possible artillery could have saved him in that situation. 704 getting caught in the worst possible position on his flank. Never Aim going for that track, that absolutely vital track, and it will result in the death of that 704. Clipping right here because he knows after firing 3 shots he cannot one-shot that tier 9 American artillery, the 5350 or 5053, right? No, 5355. Wow, I am just all sorts of wrong today. But clipping right here, and if you heard properly, if you could hear the sound in the background, there was a splash, which means, well, that 5355 I do believe just fired. I don't think that was friendly artillery. I'm pretty sure that was the enemy trying to shoot at Never Aim here and missing, thank goodness, because he certainly cannot afford to be hit. 215B saying no problem, rah rah, good job, or something of the sort. And I was a little mistaken. If Never Aim high rolled, and I guess the enemy artillery was not what just fired, because I do not believe he would be reloaded in time, but proving to be of little consequence. Actually, I don't know. If Never Aim had enough time to reload, I think the artillery had enough time to reload, more or less. I mean, obviously the 53-55's reload is going to be a little bit longer, but still, Never Aim was reloaded there for a little while. And having 450 health, Never Aim was able to kill it in 1 shot if he high rolled, being the average damage of his gun is 400 and can high roll for as much as 500, but you don't want to rely on that. Still, very well played, Never Aim. 5 kills and over 8,000 damage. I wasn't even keeping track of that over there. Only getting shot a couple times, but when a couple of those times is by a tier 9 tank destroyer, none, especially the 704, definitely not one of those favorable situations. The ISU actually managing to stay alive, looking at the mini-map there. And like I said earlier, he was rolling that 152 derp. Honestly, if you're going to be rolling anything in an ISU, you're better off running the derp than the 122 millimeter, and that's just my personal opinion, but it is my recommendation. But anyway, let's go through those post-game stats, see exactly what happened. And as you can see, getting himself high caliber is if that is any shock with over 8,000 points of damage, and Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, surprisingly nothing else. He was 1 kill away from that top gun, and because he was 1 kill away from that top gun and did not shoot enough other vehicles, he did not get Confederate, unfortunately. But it's tough to be close to a top gun and close to Confederate at the same time, or get a Confederate at the same time. It's not an easy feat, although he killed 5 and damaged 3. Unfortunately, I don't think, I remember now, flashback. 800 hit points, possible, yes, and nope, he will not get the kill shot. His allies taking it from him, choosing not to reload, instead keeping that last shell and jump, and it looks like it will pay off. Will he get a high roll? No, he will not. Okay, yeah, he almost killed the waffle. And that was a kill steal. I feel for you, buddy, I really do. But enough reminiscing on that. And right here, as you can tell, let's rack and stack the enemy team. That waffle actually being the highest damage dealer for the enemy team. T-57 heavy and already not far behind. The IS-7, try valiantly as he might, he could not get out that much damage before absolutely getting wrecked by Never Aim's team here. The 215 Bravo actually doing very well for himself. Not quite as well as Never Aim, about half the damage, but still quite well. 4,000 damage, even in a tier 10, is nothing to scoff at. 4,000 damage is still 4,000 damage. And the 704 doing not too shabby either. T110E5 doing okay for himself, and everyone else just kind of ISU 152 actually got some damage in, unlike, well, the T34, T34, T34. The T34 platoon, not exactly doing too hot. Only 1 shot of damage, right? 1 shot? Yeah, 1 shot of damage and 1 shot of damage. Yeah, okay. Enough reminiscing on that. Still, very well played, of course. As you could tell, he was, like I said so many times, fire and retreat, and that's how you gotta play autoloaders. You can't play them as aggressively. Now, there are situations where you want to play them as aggressively, if only to get the enemy team's guns on you, and that might sound stupid, but sometimes you really need to get the enemy's attention on you so your team can kill them. And there are situations, like, where the enemy team is capping out and your team is kind of like pushing on them and you're clipping, but you need to do something. Well, kind of coming up on them, and I'm not saying just blitz them, just charge right in front of all their guns. I'm saying in a smart sort of way, try and like get on their side and flank them and be like, oh my goodness, an autoloader. And then, but you don't have anything to fire, but they don't know that. So they all turn at you, and while they're distracted by you, your team pushes up and takes them out. Sort of situations. I'm not saying blitz the enemy team while you're reloading. I'm just saying sometimes you need to bluff and use intimidation factor to turn the enemy's attention towards you, if it's nothing more than popping out. But in general, you want to play exactly like he did here, not exposing yourself too much. Even when he pulled out to try and spot that enemy 704, not sure that was the... It was a risky move. I'll give you that. It was a very risky move. He could have been dead the instant he did that, but as you can tell, it paid off for him in the end. Because he did that, he was able to get on the flank and get the perfect position, the side shots on that 704, to where the 704 was completely exposed, couldn't do anything to stop his own death. But it doesn't always work out. Wow, if he was running premium, he would have made over 50,000 credits. As it stands, just made over 15,000, but still, making any sort of profit in tier 10 without running premium, you're more than pulling your own weight, good sir. And almost earning 2,000 experience or 1305, depending on which account sort of status you want to go off of. Driving quite a bit there. Not too much damage blocked by armor, but it never is going to be. And just 27, and 23 of those were hits, and 23 were pens. So overall, very well played. I look forward to more of your submissions, good sir, and I do have more of them already in stock, but we'll get to those in good time, as well as through all my old 9.5 replays. 9.6 comes out tomorrow, by the way, for the North American server, so I'm probably going to be busy this week just getting through 9.5 and 9.4 replays. As you've noticed, I'm uploading them both kind of simultaneously as an attempt to catch up. So hopefully by the end of the week I'll have them all recorded, if not, and that probably means you'll see maybe 2 uploads a day, at least 1 upload a day to my channel for this week, and probably the weeks to come. Because even if I cannot get them all rendered and uploaded, I do want to try and get at least most of them recorded so I can start doing my 9.6. And in fact, I'm probably going to prioritize 9.5 over 9.4 simply because my 9.5 is being recorded on my desktop. But enough about that. Look forward to it And you really don't need, I don't know why I rambled on about the intricacies of my editing process, because you don't need to know that much about it. But what you do need to know is hit that like button if you want to see, if you like this video. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you got a replay, check the description below for instructions on how to submit. I'm actually going to be reworking that slightly, but no major changes, just minor ones. And if you got a suggestion on how you can help me to make my YouTube channel better, on what I can do to make my videos better, please let me know in the comment section below, or just tell me how you're doing. That's cool too. But until next time, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.
MLG.